Hi Libra, my name is Gregory Scott and this is your astrology forecast for July 2015. Thank you for joining me today. It's really a pleasure to be with you. I am going to do a really in-depth kind of analysis of your astrology for July. I'm going to have a look at the planets, the luminaries, the aspects they make with each other and how they interact and what kind of an impact that's going to have on you. I'm not going to look at your tarot. I'm just going to focus on the astrological influences and what that means for you. Okay, so the first thing that I see this month is that there is a T-square in your chart on the 1st of July. The T-square is a kind of placement in a chart that presents a problem, a challenge, and the solution to that problem. And the problem for you is going to be the way things are with you in terms of family and the way things are in your life right now and what you want to achieve. So that's your everyday life, the way your life looks. So if you live in a studio apartment but you want to live in a penthouse in Miami, then there's a push and pull between what is real right now and what I want to achieve. And the answer to that problem is to continue to dream your dreams, to be real with yourself and to put practical plans in place to make it happen. So the answer isn't don't give up on your dreams and accept your life the way it is. Continue to dream and actually try your very best to get to where you want to go. At the same time, your ascendant, so the way you are, the way you see yourself, is in a square aspect, so 90 degrees apart, with your midheaven, which is in your 9th house in Gemini. So the way I feel this affects you is that at the beginning of the month, you feel very much together in terms of how you see yourself spiritually as a human being, and I think you have a healthy relationship with yourself. What that does is it prevents you from striving to learn new things, and I really think it's important for you to look outside of yourself to get other perspectives, other information coming through, to communicate with other people, to communicate with books, to go traveling, to discover new things. But I really feel that it's not a good time to rest on your laurels and to just say, I'm perfect the way I am, but to continue to grow, to continue to learn, and to continue to expand as a human being. Mercury also sextiles Uranus at this time from the 30th of June through until the 4th of July. This is interesting because Uranus is in the 7th house of relationships. And it means that there are new exciting things going on in your relationships, and you can only create those things by getting out there and communicating. So the key for you to realize your hopes and dreams in terms of your love life, specifically, is to go out there. I think this is actually, and this isn't, I mean, I think it's great a time for like a summer romance, like a romantic just whirlwind affair, you know, where you frolic in the sand or whatever. This is a great time for that because it's only when you go out there and do something that you meet someone. It can also be that you know, you just go about your day-to-day life and you continue to communicate and that you meet someone that way. But I really get a sense of impulsiveness, electricity, something bang, miraculous, that comes in quite temporarily, and I get a real sense of excitement in terms of your romantic life with other people. That's exciting, that's great, okay. So on the 2nd of July, the full moon occurs in Capricorn, and this occurs in your 4th house of family and intimate relationships, your roots. And a full moon is always a period of blossoming. So if you want to, this is a great time because it's conjunct with Pluto, the planet of death and rebirth. This is a great time for you, Libra, to revive some of your family relationships that may have fallen by the wayside. You know, a sister that has fallen out with the family, or a brother that you disowned, or whatever it is. It's a great time to recover those lost relationships. Saturn squares Venus from the 3rd of July through until the 15th of August. And Saturn is in your 2nd house in Scorpio. The way to overcome the financial limitations that you're experiencing at the moment is to dream big and to see what other options that are available to you. I really feel that you're on a very fixed kind of financial this is a very fixed financial time in your life. Things don't seem to be miraculously blowing up, or you don't suddenly get a huge windfall. I think things are really, really steady and stable for you. And you can really bust that, you can really blow that up and make it much more exciting by thinking, what is it that I love? What are my dreams? How rich did I want to be? What great thing did I want to invent? What amazing job did I want to have, traveling the world and interviewing celebrities, or whatever it is, or seeing different places? But pick up those dreams again, because the answer to getting rid of those structures lies in using your imagination and really being true to your own dreams and desires. The Sun trines Neptune from the 24th of June until the 9th of July. Neptune is the unmanifest and the dream, and what it is you aspire to again, and that's in your 6th house of work. So really already what I'm getting for you, Libra, is that there's something about you that wants to achieve more at work. I think you're a little bit restless, you're a little bit discontent at the way things are in your working life, and you want to, breathe, blow some new life into that sector. And you're really forceful about wanting to do that. You're dissatisfied, you're irritable, I think, the way things are. And when you get irritable and restless, it's not just, let's wait it. Well, sometimes you do wait it out, but I don't think this time. I think for you, it's important for you to reinvent your career. I'm serious. And I'm saying that because your midheaven is in Gemini, right on top of your noon position in your chart, and this is the time to communicate about what it is you wanted to do, to revive your dreams, and to really dream and do something that's meaningful and purposeful and fun for you, and to give yourself the luxury of doing that if you can. Mercury goes into Cancer on the 9th of July. Let's go up to the 9th. And that's all now joining your 10th house of career. So you've got your Sun in Cancer, you've got your Mars, your midheaven, and your Mercury in Cancer in your 10th house. So what that's going to impact you, the way that's going to manifest itself is, do I care about what I'm working? Do I care about this job? Do I feel like I'm helping people? Do I feel like I'm making a difference? Can I really get myself behind this and really get passionate and forceful about it? And do I agree with the things I'm saying and the kind of communications that I have during the day? So it's about getting honest with yourself. And I know it's hard, and the economy is what it is. People are sending hundreds of job applications to get a job they don't even want. But really, there is always, and I really feel like I am a personal example of this, there's always a way to kind of just step back from all of that, the economy and there are no jobs and stuff, and to say, what is it that I really love to do? And if you want to make bespoke, diamond-encrusted watches, and that's your passion, then go do that. I don't think you're on this planet to worry about what the economy is like and what the job situation is like. I think you're on this planet to live your dreams. And I think this month that comes up for you. And I don't think that's flippant or trite. I genuinely believe that, and I genuinely feel like you have an input into making that happen, and that you can make that a reality. So there's another T-square that happens on the 11th, and that T-square is between Saturn in the 2nd, your Moon in your 8th, and your Venus and Jupiter in your 11th house of hopes and dreams. Don't let other people and their expectations of you and what they're telling you stop you from living your dream. So if you're in a job and your boss says, oh, we can't promote you at the moment, unfortunately, because we just don't have opportunities, please wait a year, then don't accept that and say, yeah, I'll wait a year. Live your dreams now and make it happen. And just because he's rebuffing you doesn't mean that you have to accept that. Mars has been in conjunction with the Sun since the beginning of June, and it comes to a close now on the 12th of July. So Mars is the warrior planet of desire, what it is you want, and the Sun is the ego, it's your personality on planet Earth. So you've been really driven and quite forcefully looking at what it is you want in terms of your career. That starts to abate now a little bit. That energy starts to fall away. So if you do want to make changes to that, make them before the 12th of July, because you're going to have the motivation and the energy to actually make it happen. Similarly, Pluto has been in opposition to the Sun from the 27th of June through until the 14th of July, and that also drops away now. And that feeling of reinventing yourself and reinventing your roots and altering your day-to-day life isn't as forceful as it was. So again, to make that changes, to change your life, do it in the first half of the month. Venus conjuncts Jupiter for a long time here. It's done it since the 17th of June, and it will continue to conjunct. They will continue to conjunct each other until the 13th of August. Venus is the goddess of love, the planet of love, and Jupiter is the lucky planet. So isn't that nice that you have the planet of good luck kind of meshing its energy with the planet of love? So it's lucky in love, loving luck. You know, it's a great energy, and that's in your 11th house of hopes and dreams, and that energy really inspires you to dream again. And that's what this is all about for you this month so far. It's like, allow yourself to dream and allow yourself to fall in love with the process of life, and seeing that there are other opportunities out there, and that it's not just all practical circumstances and what you can and can't do. Sometimes it's very important to think outside of the box. The new moon occurs on the 16th of July. And that new moon occurs in your career sector in Cancer. So pick a career that you like, plant some seeds of intention and take some action, apply it to the college, send off the job application, decide what you'd like to do that you genuinely care about, plant it in that seed, let it grow by itself, because that's what the new moon energy is about, planting seeds and watching them grow, and consciously do that. Imagine like a flower pot. Here's my idea, I imagine it as a seed, I plant it, I let it go, and I just watch it grow, and I leave it to do its job. The new moon will kind of take over, infuse that visualization with its energy, and help your new reality become real in the 3D practical physical world. Uranus squares Mars from the 16th of July, so the same day as the new moon, and goes through until the 2nd of August. So Uranus is in your 7th house in Aries, and Mars is in Cancer in your 10th house. And when they are in a square aspect, they're 90 degrees apart, and they create friction between each other. You're going to want to do things differently in your relationships, and that is going to come into conflict with you feeling a sense of being stifled in terms of your working life. So again, the answer is to think outside of the box, to really treat people the way you think they ought to be treated. I mean, usually that's with respect and being honest and open, but really don't fall into the trap of giving someone adulation just because other people expect you to do that, or sucking up to someone just because you think you might get something out of it. That's going to frustrate you if you go into that mode in the end of July. I think it's really important for you to be honest and real with yourself about other people in your life and the way you want to treat them and the way you think they ought to be treated. We all have people that we really respect. We all have people that we look up to, that we admire, and we all have people that we don't like. There's nothing wrong with that. We're all like that because we all have egos, but we can treat all of these people with respect, but we don't need to kind of go overboard and send them hate mail or suck up to them just because, you know, we don't need to go to those extremes with that behavior. And for the end of July, for you, Libra, it's important to kind of get clear on that and to keep an eye on your interactions with other people. Okay. Venus then goes into Virgo on the 19th of July, and that occurs in your 12th house. This is a really wonderful time for you to get more discerning and practical with your spiritual practice. If you haven't found what it is you're looking for just yet, I mean, I think the ideal for me personally, and the ideal that I often recommend to people, is that people should have a daily spiritual practice, because it means you connect with people, you connect with Source, the universe, daily. And the more time you spend with the universe, the more you grow and the more you embody the goodness of the universe. I meditate, I'm not regular about it, but I feel like my readings allow me to contact that higher universe, and because I do that every day, I feel like I'm building my relationship, and that's my spiritual practice. But for you, if you haven't found that thing that's in your life daily, excuse me, then the 19th onwards, when Venus goes into Virgo, that's a good time for you to do that, and a good time for you to look into that. Okay. Oh, another T-square happens on the same day, the 19th of July, and it stays in your chart for 10 days until the 29th. And this T-square is again between your roots and your work, and the outcome is your the way you see yourself at work, and the way you see yourself being. So again, this echoes what I said with Mars, Uranus, that it's important to be truthful to yourself, not to burn any bridges, to not go overboard, but to be true to yourself, but also be respectful and considerate of other people at the same time. It's a balancing act, and you can do both, but you have to walk that tightrope at the end of July. Mercury goes into Leo on the 24th of July. And that's great, because you are in touch with your hopes and dreams, and that doesn't go away, it just keeps coming up. And the next day, a grand trine occurs in water. And this is a wonderful day for you, because a grand trine is a big blue triangle that indicates a real area of talent and growth and insight, especially when it's in water. And it's between the moon in Scorpio in your 2nd, Chiron in Pisces in your 6th, and the midheaven in Cancer in your 10th. You get an understanding of something that you can do for work that's going to make you a lot of money, and that's really going to transform the disappointments of the past. If you have a PhD in philosophy, but if you've been working the checkout counter at 7-Eleven for the last 10 years, you may feel a sense of disappointment. On the 25th of July, you will get an idea that will allow you to do work that you genuinely care about, and that will undo that disappointment by creating something wonderful and good in your future. Really important day for you, Libra, in terms of your working life and the inspiration that you need to transform your working life. On the 25th of July as well, Virgo, Venus, I always confuse Venus and Virgo. Venus is the planet, Virgo is the sign, and Venus, the planet, goes into retrograde. All personal planets retrograde, so Mercury retrogrades, and that's a very famous one, everyone knows about that. But Venus also retrogrades, and so does Mars, okay? And Venus retrogrades on the 25th, and it stays in retrograde until the 8th of September. And this is a really important time to reassess what it is you love, what it is you care about, to reevaluate, to kind of not be so heated, and to look at things more objectively, and to explore. And Venus for you is in Virgo in your 12th house, and this is a great time for you to do that research in terms of your spiritual practice. What is it that you can apply yourself that really gives you that sense of connection and that you actually enjoy? I did a video on meditation recently, have a look at that, but sometimes the meditations were just, I mean, I love meditation, but a specific type that actually works for me, because some of the other ones, I'm just like, this is so boring, I don't want to do this. You know, I can watch the static on the TV, that's more interesting than this. So you have the opportunity and the time to find an actual practice that works for you. Okay. And then finally, the month ends with a blue moon. A blue moon is something that happens very rarely. It's when there are 2 full moons in a month. So the first full moon was on the 2nd of July, that was in Capricorn. And usually we just have 1 full moon, okay? And a full moon is a time of culmination and blossoming. But this month we've got another one on the 31st of July, and that's what's called the blue moon, and that's another blossoming. So what that means for you, Libra, is that this is a very powerful month of becoming realized, of becoming, it's almost like giving birth, of a culmination of things. And the main themes that have been going on for you this month are really figuring out what your dreams are, and working at your relationships in terms of being true to yourself. And all of those things come together under those two full moons and help you to really realize your dreams. It doesn't mean that they're a reality straight away, but that for you internally, you know what I want to do, you know what you want to do, you know what you see yourself in, you know what your purpose is, and you discover your path forward. And that is very, very powerful and very important. And like that philosophy student I mentioned as an example, when he finds what he's looking for, he's going to feel such a sense of relief and such a sense of purpose that will fix all of the frustration of the past. So this is a really special month. Like I said, the next time a blue moon occurs is in January 2018, so it's like once every 3 years, and it's an opportunity to realize the things that occur. That said, the new moon and the intentions you set during the new moon period on the 16th are also going to become manifest more quickly, more powerfully, because of those two full moons on either side. So really get clear on what your hopes and dreams are and really move forward with those. It's a great time to take your passion and make it happen. So I hope you have a wonderful month. If you'd like a private reading with me to, get more guidance specifically to your chart on what your life purpose is, or to find out anything else, relationships, love, spirituality, whatever, get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. You can email me. The address is readings@gregoryscott.co.uk. And please remember to subscribe to the channel. Have a fantastic July, and I'll speak to you soon.